In this short screencast, I'm going to present Roomba. It is a Node.js command line tool aimed at examining the correctness of open data metadata and build custom dataset profiles. This is the main GitHub repository where you will be able to locally clone the tool into your own machine. I would recommend using the ---- recursive flag when cloning, as there are some get submodules defined and you will be able to fetch them as well using this flag. Or if you did the normal clone without the ---- recursive flag, you would do that by providing get submodule update and ---- in it. After cloning this repository into your local machine, you would have a structure similar to this, except for the cache and the node modules. The cache module would be created automatically by the tool, and node modules is where you would have the dependencies, and you would be able to install them typing npm and install. However, we've done that, so you don't need to type that, and you'll be able to run the tool directly. I just note out some quick customization that you can do. You can define a proxy here if you are behind a proxy. You can also define the name for the cache folder, the path for the licenses folder. Here is the get submodule as we mentioned, so if you would like to clone it separately, you can just specify the path here, and the name of the mapping file, which is the manual license mapping file, and here the locale, which is default to English, but you can add your own custom messages in any languages here. You can define the locale here, you keep the keys, and you can translate these messages. However, I will put all these details also in the GitHub README file, so you'll be able to have an overview of how you can override and how you can customize this tool. Now we go back to run this tool, and you can do that by typing node and dc.js is the main file. Then here you would enter the URL of the data portal, and here we would do the data portal identification. So for example, let's put this data portal. It's a German open data portal for the city of Köln, and here we say that this data portal has been identified as CKAN. However, at the moment we only support CKAN based portals, but you can easily provide all this support by overriding and extending the interfaces that I would mention in the documentation. Here, let's say datahub.io, which is the CKAN data portal hosting the linked open data cloud. And here you will be presented with a set of options that you can do for this dataset. The fetch process actually crawls the dataset and downloads the metadata into your local machine. This can be very useful because most of the steps that you will be doing afterwards will depend on this metadata. So if you have them cached, then all the other processes would finish faster. So for example, here I would say, well, okay, I want to fetch all the datasets, or I want to fetch a specific group or a specific dataset. Let's say I want to fetch the link of the data cloud. Load cloud is the ID for that group. They are already cached, that's why the process finished fast. And now I would be able to profile or to generate reports on this data. Let's see the first option, which is generating group level reports. This is very useful for data administrator, as they would be able to have an overview of the issues of the data sets examined. They can use that to detect spam data sets or data sets that are missing lots of information, so that they can notify the administrators of these data sets to clean them. I put the group ID, which is load cloud. And here I'm presented with three options. If I want to aggregate a certain key, or I want to aggregate a key and an object, or I want to check empty field values. So what is a meta field value? It's actually a part of a JSON file. I'll show you here. So let's try to open the event media.json. So license title, maintainer, relationship as an object. So these are the keys of the metadata. So if I want, for example, now to find out all the license titles for all the data sets I use in the load cloud, I say license underscore title. So now for all the data sets in the load cloud, I have this set of licenses. I have GPL 2.0, I have UK Open government licenses, and so on. However, to have a more detailed report, I would like to see also what kind of data sets or what are the data sets corresponding for each license. So here again, I would say .cloud, and what I will do here is I would say I want a key object 1, and I would say give me the license title and then the title of the data set. And as you notice here, what I will have is I would notice Open Data Commons attribution license. They have 3 data sets. For other, you have all these data sets, and you can actually know which data set corresponds to which license information. And in the end, you would have an aggregate overview. So you'd say that 53 data sets did not have a license specified. You have 14 with Creative Commons CC0, so on and so forth. You would be able to save this report. I say yes. You would type this report name. So I would say the screencast report. And now if you go back to the folder, as we see here, so it is within the cache. I have my datahub.io. I have my reports, and this is the screencast report that I've just saved. It's saved here. Cool. So now what I can do as well is I can go back here and I say I want to load cloud, and I say okay, I want to check the empty field values. Let's say for example URL, and what it does here is it checks all the data sets that are missing the URL field. So I notice here that I have 3 data sets where they didn't specify actually oops, sorry, I quit by mistake, a URL field. I put datahub.io. Cool. Now the important thing is actually the profiling of data sets, or for groups, or for the whole portal. So I say that I would like to profile a specific data set, and here it will ask me for the name for that data set. I would like to profile event media. And here is the disambiguation process for license information. If we go back and check the event media, here it's specified as CCBYSA. And in our mapping license file, we have 2 versions for CCBYSA, version 3 and version 4. So here we ask the administrator or the owner of this dataset to disambiguate this and select the correct version type. Let's assume it's version 4.0. The process takes a bit of time because there are 9 resources for the dataset event media, and this is the report that we are presented with. So as you can see, it's a bit verbose so that you can actually see in details, and it starts here. So first of all, you have the metadata report, which is the report about the general metadata like the name, the URL, the type of this dataset. And as we notice here, the group information is missing. And then we profile the tags, and for all the tags we notice that here, for example, we are missing the vocab ID for all. As we notice here, for all the tags, the vocab ID is missing. And here for 100% of the tags, we have the vocab ID undefined. That's cool. And here for the licenses, we have the message that the license information has been normalized. And then here we have the resource report. The resources usually have the largest number of issues associated with them. So it's good to have an overview looking at the resource statistics. So we see here we have the URL type is missing from all these resources. However, 8 out of 9 of these resources, we have an undefined size field. We have 1 undefined format. And then here we have the connectivity issues. So 3 out of the URLs of event media dataset are not reachable, and all of them are of type file. Would I like to save this enriched metadata profile? I can say, for example, yes. I would now like to enter the profile name. What I would do is I would say it's event media plus plus, for example. Would like to save this report? Not now. So let's go and have a look at this enriched profile. So enriched here, and it's event media. We have more event media. Oh yeah, so here's event media plus plus. And as we notice here, the license ID has been normalized. If we scroll down, we notice also we have added extra license information. So information about the openness, if it applies for software, for data, as well as for content. And if we also go to resources, we find out that we have managed to fill up the size information for some of these resources as we extract this information from the HTTP request header, as well as the MIME type, and we note if this resource is reachable or not. That's good. And now what we'd also like to show is you can have this as well for a group, which here it will ask us, do we want to automatically save all these reports? Yes. Would you like to overwrite the ones that we created? I would say no, just for the sake of having the results shown fast, because they have been already cached. And this is the group ID. And this is now the whole overview for all the issues surrounding the load cloud. As you can see here, these are lots of URLs. So 330 URLs for the resources have been undefined. We have found 1086 resource. This is all the overall statistics. This is also the license information stats. And you can analyze this information to have an overview of the health of any CKAN based data portal. That was it for my screencast. If you have any issues, this is the GitHub repository. Just here, go to the issues and tell us what you think, and we would work on that as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for listening.